Get into today's topic here. We'll discuss this for about 10 to 15 minutes, talking about quality at bats today. And I think this is we were going to talk about this a few months ago, and we're finally getting a chance to discuss this now. And being that you are in a position where you want your hitters, softball level, SEC level, University of South Carolina, the Gamecocks, as it were, you want them to have those quality at bats. And I was watching, I thought of you actually the other day because I was on Instagram and I saw some hitting videos. Ketel Marte was one, and there was a video of Mike Trout and his swing when he was in high school. And you and I talked about this way back when, how the swing from when a player, baseball or softball, when they're in high school, fundamentally, mechanically, the way their body moves to when they move up levels, college, and then as it were with guys at the professional level, then their swing doesn't change all that much. So what does change? How do they get better? It's that they learn how to have those quality at bats. And I'm sure that's something that you teach now. Look, you look at some hitters and you say, I can't change too much. It's working for them fundamentally. The way their body moves, they can only do certain things or they can maybe do more. What's the separator now? What might separate us? And I'm thinking that you may be thinking it's those quality at bats and being able to teach players how to have such so then they can get on base and obviously score those runs.
Yeah, I mean, I chart all fall. I charted quality at bats just to give me an idea too when I was going back or meeting with players or post game notes. So that players, we may have had a player that went 0 for 2 in a game, but they hit a deep sac fly to right center field that not only scored a runner from third, but moved a runner up from second to third, and then boom, we get a ground ball. And we're able to score that other run. So that one sac fly enabled us to get 2 runs. And that's the way teams win. And that's a goal. And that's one of the things that's really great with softball is that this is their time. They're not pressing to become pros. There's not a big payday at the end of it going and playing on an Olympic team. They're going to, if they do that, that's, a month out of every year, right? And they're not going to make a living doing that. It's more of an honor. So they work together. The cohesiveness of a team versus baseball, where you may have 4 or 5 guys that, especially in the SEC, that are going to be in the top maybe 3 or 4 rounds. Those guys got extra pressure on themselves. They're trying to do things to make their stock rise so that they get paid, right, in a couple months. So the quality at bats is massive for us in scoring runs. And it could be as simple as what I just said, a sacrifice fly. I mean, one sticks out. One of our players, it was late in our Garnet and Black series, and that was the situation. She was responsible for 2 runs on a sac fly to right field, but a deep fly ball. But not only was it a great at bat, it was 2 strikes. She had 2 strikes on her, and she was still able to be super duper productive with her out. And we don't always get hits, and we have to know the situations and what we're trying to accomplish. And that's something that I talk to them, especially when we're doing inter squads or we're out there, what are we trying to do here? Hey, what do we see the situation. I'll just talk them through it from the dugout. What's the situation here? What are we trying to do with the bat here? What's our job? I don't want to have to tell you everything. If you want to put a bun down because the first baseman's playing back, do it. Like have that kind of gamesmanship. So teaching them to learn the game on their own is, I think, really important as well. But it's just, everybody is different in what I'm trying to preach. Some players need to be way more aggressive. Some players need to get deeper into counts. Some players need to work rhythm and timing. And kind of all of that goes into, a fall season. That's what we're working on. We're not concerned really with stats. People are trying to earn positions and whatnot, but it's really about learning the game and manufacturing runs. And what kind of team do we have? Do we have a team that can sit back and hope for a walk and then hit a ball out of the park? Or are we a team that we need to kind of get infielders moving on hit and runs to create holes because maybe we don't have a ton of over the fence power? So, trying to learn that and figure out what's the best way for us to put up, 6 to 8 runs a game. That's the goal, right? That's what we're trying to accomplish. And some days the wind's blowing out and some days it's not. And we got to figure out how to be successful on both those different scenarios.